Good evening. This is the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. First, the headlines. Assigned by His Majesty the Sultan, His Excellency the Foreign Minister heads the Sultanate of Oman delegation to the extraordinary Joint Arab-Islamic Summit at Saudi capital Riyadh. On the sideline of the extraordinary Joint Arab-Islamic Summit, a number of leaders of Arab and Islamic countries renew their calls. Over 320 million Omani Riyals is the total value of investments attracted by Khazain Economic City before the end of the final quarter of this year 2023. The news in detail. Assigned by His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Hamad Al Busaidi, Foreign Minister, headed the delegation of the Sultanate of Oman participating in the extraordinary Joint Arab-Islamic Summit of the Council of the League of the Arab States and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, scheduled to be held today, Saturday, in the Saudi capital Riyadh. Saudi Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Mohammed bin Salman announced today that the holding of the Arab-Islamic Summit comes under exceptional and painful circumstances. At the opening of the summit, the Crown Prince renewed his country's rejection of this brutal war to which the Palestinian people are exposed, calling for the action to lift the siege by bringing humanitarian and relief aid into Gaza. He also expressed his country's condemnation of the brutal war on Palestinians, adding that the continuation of the war is a failure for UN Security Council. President Mahmoud Abbas called for the stop of the Israeli aggression and the provision of the international protection to the people of Palestine. President Abbas demanded the United Nations Security Council to take responsibility to stop the aggression, secure emergency medical and food supplies, and provide water, electricity and fuel to Gaza Strip and stop the forced displacement of the Palestinian people in Gaza and West Bank. President Abbas rejected security and military solutions as they were found to be failed solutions, with Israel replacing efforts to the two-state solutions with a policy to occupy the Palestinian lands through ethnic cleansing. He also called for full United Nations membership, pointing out that the Palestinian people is facing a genocidal war in which humanitarian laws are violated. His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, Prince of Qatar, ruler of Qatar, underscored the diplomatic efforts to reach a humanitarian truce, calling for opening permanent humanitarian corridors to secure emergency humanitarian relief missions to Gaza Strip. His Highness Sheikh Tamim affirmed Qatar's position in support the Palestinian just cause and in working with the regional partners to provide humanitarian assistance to Gaza Strip. His Highness Sheikh Tamim denounced the Israeli threats to target humanitarian effort as a means for political pressure and blackmailing, and stressed on the importance that relief missions should be able to reach all areas in Gaza Strip. His Highness Sheikh Tamim announced his support all regions and international de-escalation efforts which seeks to stop the bloodshed, protect the civilians and release the hostages. On the 36th day of the war on the Gaza Strip, the Israeli occupation intensified its bombing of hospitals. It specifically targeted Al-Shifa Medical Complex, which is the largest health facility in the Strip. The hospital surgery department was also bombed, while the intensive care and pediatric department stopped working, and a fire broke out in the kidney department as a result of the bombing. The spokesman for the Ministry of Health in Gaza announced that work on the complex has stopped and that it was out of service due to the bombing and the depletion of fuel. This comes at a time when violent clashes continue between the Palestinian resistance and the occupation forces in several areas in the Gaza Strip. On the 36th day of the war on the Gaza Strip, the Israeli occupation intensified its bombings of hospitals. It specifically targeted Al Shifa Medical Complex, which is the largest health facility in the Strip. The hospital's surgery department was also bombed, while the intensive care and pediatric department stopped working, and a fire broke out in the dialysis department as a result of the bombing. The spokesman for the Ministry of Health in the Gaza announced that work on the complex has stopped and that it was out of the service due to the bombing and the depletion of fuel. This comes at a time when the violent clashes continue between the Palestinian resistance and the occupation forces in several areas in the Gaza Strip. The head of the World Health Organization says the healthcare system in Gaza is on its knees with a lack of medical supplies and fuel, leading to surgeries without anesthesia. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, the WHO Director General, says 20 of Gaza's 36 hospitals are no longer functioning, including a pediatric hospital that has stopped operations after reported Israeli strike in the area. Palestinian evacuees fleeing Gaza's northern combat zone say thousands of displaced people who had sheltered at the Shifa hospital in the heart of the Gaza city fled following overnight explosions there. The hospital had sheltered nearly 80,000 people running from heavy ground battles and air strikes. Some of those fleeing Friday said only a few hundred badly wounded patients and doctors remained behind. Marwan Gilani, the Director General of the Palestine Red Crescent Society, told the Council that the concern for civilian life has now shifted to the survivability of the sick and wounded. If no aid just to the north of Gaza Strip, we will soon see infants dying because their mothers cannot feed them. Gilani said many people will starve and die of diseases. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and later to Cabino News Bulletin. Training workshop on drone photography held at Nizwa Cultural Center in a Dakhliya Governorate. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Khazain Economic City continues to invest in the work of implementing infrastructure and providing all services to be ready for investments with the availability of various services and facilities. Khazain Economic City was able to attract a large number of local and foreign investments in major sectors such as the logistics, industrial, food, pharmaceutical, and clean energy sectors. The total value of the investments attracted by the city until the last quarter of this year now amounted to about 323 million riyals, while 110 investments agreements were signed from 17 countries around the world. And the number of projects under construction reached 30 projects in various major economic sectors. Oman Airport has achieved rapid growth and global achievements 5 years since the opening of Muscat International Airport and 8 years since the opening of Salalah Airport. Since its opening in the year 2018, Muscat International Airport has achieved 52 places in the list of the best airports in the world in the field of services and passenger satisfaction, becoming its 11th place in the world, competing with several international airports within its capacity category from 15 to 25, 1 million passengers regionally and internationally. He also won a series of international awards that confirm his leadership in the aviation and travel sector. It was crowned with the award for the best new pioneering airport for the year 2018, after which it continued its series of achievements in the field of travel and tourism. As for Salalah Airport, it was crowned with 4 awards in the 2 million passengers category, the award for the most dedicated airport staff in serving passengers, the award for the easiest travel procedures, and the award for the cleanest airport within the Airport Service Quality Awards in the Middle East for the year 2022. The Administration of Culture, Sports and Youth in the Dakhliya Governorate held a training workshop at Nizwa Cultural Center on drone photography and video shooting to familiarize filmmakers and those working in field projects with drone operation procedures and regulations. More details in this report.
Aerial or drone photography and video shooting add an extraordinary layer of beauty that tantalizes the senses of viewers. Within this endeavor, the Administration of Culture, Sports and Youth in the Dakhliya Governorate held a training workshop at Nizwa Cultural Center on drone photography and video shooting to shed light on the techniques as well as the rules and regulations governing aerial photography.
The drone photography workshops comes as one of the workshops implemented by the Administration of Culture, Sport and Youth in the Dakhliya Governorate. Actually, we are happy with such a good number of participants in this workshop. Those participants who are willing and interested in developing their photography skills.
The workshop targeted passionate filmmakers, enthusiasts, and those working on field projects in public entities to give them hands-on experience in basic drone operation procedures and the skills required to get the most out of the drone photos and videos.
The workshop is very important for us as we use a drone in serving planet cover in reserves, assessing project in remote location and protecting endangered animals.
It is worth mentioning that drone flying and filming in the Sultanate of Oman requires a series of permits to be obtained from the relevant authorities. This training workshop gave the participants essential tips and tricks to shoot fantastic drone photography and video. From Nizwa Cultural Center, Salih Bakhalfan al-Rahbi, Dakhliya Governorate.
The participants of primary healthcare workshop training concluded their sessions, indicating that the knowledge and skills gained will improve their clinical performance and ultimately securing high-quality care and excellent outcomes for patients in their healthcare institutions. More details in the following report. Continuous professional development is central to the professional development of nurses and midwives and necessary to deliver high-quality, safe, effective and person-centered care. Nurses representing various governorates of the Sultanate of Oman concluded a three-day workshop on national primary health care nursing practice.
This workshop is excellent, where we have gone through many different procedures and guidelines that updated based on the latest research. All of this is for the purpose of providing quality care for our patients.
The workshop was designed to provide participants with an interactive and engaging experience with experts from Oman and outside Oman, on which roundtable discussions together with clinical sessions took place.
It's great to be a part of this workshop where we are training our colleagues from primary health services on different stations. I have led a station of urinary catheterization where we have connected both theoretical and practical part to come up with a well-competent staff who can do this procedure in local health centers and polyclinic. Through this event also I have applied the latest and updated evidence-based practice.
It's worth mentioning primary healthcare nurses play a critical role in disease prevention and control to keep people healthy.
During these 3 days, we have come across a standard of nursing documentation, including trends, challenges, and future scope. Also, we went through the process of developing the key performance indicators and how to apply it in our field of practice.
The participants of the workshop achieved excellent result that will enhance the practice of primary healthcare nursing provided to patients in their healthcare institutions and empowering the capabilities among the nursing groups in primary healthcare by using the latest evidence nursing practice. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Assigned by His Majesty the Sultan, His Excellency the Foreign Minister heads the Sultanate of Oman delegation to the extraordinary Joint Arab-Islamic Summit at Saudi capital Riyadh. On the sideline of the extraordinary Joint Arab-Islamic Summit, a number of leaders of Arab and Islamic countries renew their calls for a ceasefire and opening humanitarian corridors. Over 320 million Omani riyals is the total value of investments attracted by Khazain Economic City before the end of the final quarter of this year, 2023. And with that, we do conclude this news bulletin brought to you live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. From me and the entire news team, we thank you for joining us. Wish you a pleasant evening and good night.